Well, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you to the organising committee for the invitation to speak here today about curating numismatic discomfort. I'm Jesper Eriksson, and I'm the curator of numismatics at the Hunterian, which has been at the heart of the University of Glasgow since 1807. The Hunterian is Scotland's oldest public museum, founded on the Enlightenment collections of Dr. William Hunter, a pioneering 18th century physician and anatomist. He collected widely, but numismatics was a particular passion, and in the last 13 years of his life, Hunter amassed over 30,000 coins, medals, and tokens, and his numismatic assemblage was considered to be second only to the French royal cabinet at the time. Curating discomfort. It's about thinking and working in new, non-traditional ways. It's about exploring and critically engaging with contested collections to confront difficult, uncomfortable subjects such as empire, colonialism, and the transatlantic slave trade. It's about tackling racism, inequality, and ideologies of white supremacy. About being open, honest, and transparent. It's about participation and facilitating access to collections and working with diverse groups of people to give voices to those whose knowledge and expertise has been erased or ignored. It's very much about sharing power, indeed shifting power, and taking the museum out of its institutional comfort zone. Now, it's important to emphasize that curating discomfort is not a time-bound project with a definitive end date. It's an integral part of an ongoing process of meaningful change at the Hunterian, fundamental to our values, organizational strategy, and development over the coming years. Now, suffice to say, there's plenty to read about it on the Hunterian website, and obviously come up to me and have a chat about it anytime you like. Now, numismatics plays a key role in curating discomfort. After all, money and the accumulation of wealth have driven the ruthless expansion of empires across history. For example, India wasn't taken over by the British government in the mid-18th century. It was taken over by the East India Company, whose head office was in London. In his book, The Anarchy, author William Dalrymple notes, India's transition to colonialism took place through the mechanism of a for-profit corporation, which existed entirely for the purpose of enriching its investors. The company's conquest of India almost certainly remains the supreme act of corporate violence in world history. The most visible public outputs of curating discomfort are interventions in the Hunterian Museum, as can be seen on the slides, and also in other Hunterian venues, such as the Art Gallery. Now, participation is key in order to shift power and address inequality. At the very outset of curating discomfort, 6 people were invited to form a group of community curators. They're from different backgrounds, such as academics, community activists, social justice campaigners, and educators. They're from different geographical places and have been in Glasgow for varying lengths of time. And over a 6-month period, community curators worked with Hunterian staff to curate the intervention in the museum. And you can probably tell by what we're wearing what time that was. For this, Hunterian curators were asked to compile dossiers of objects based on 2 themes that the group of community curators had agreed on. And these were to centre the cultural value of chosen objects to those who made or used them, in other words, those who the belongings came from originally, and secondly, to explore the idea of labour, and particularly the types of labour involved in the commodities that are often associated with empire. So I worked closely with one of the community curators, Nelson Cummins from the Coalition for Racial Equality on Rights, on 2 numismatic items that he selected. An East India Company military medal from 1826 and a Charles II guinea stuck in 1663. Both feature in the intervention, but I'll focus on the guinea for today's paper, which connected with the second of the themes, to explore the idea of labour, and particularly the types of labour involved in the commodities that are often associated with empire. So for those of you that don't know, the guinea was an English, later British coin minted between 1663 and 1813, and some were made from gold from West Africa, referred to as the Gold or Guinea Coast, which gave the coin its name. Guineas made from African gold have either an elephant underneath the monarch's bust on the obverse, or an elephant and castle. The former was the emblem of the Company of Royal Adventurers of England trading into Africa, the latter of the Royal African Company. And the dates in brackets on the slide refer to when the companies operated rather than when their emblems appeared on guineas. And both transported gold from West Africa to England to be converted into coinage. And when Nelson and the other community curators looked at this coin, they asked questions like, right, okay, we know that the coin's made from African gold. Well, who mined that gold? What were the lives of these laborers like? What were working conditions like at the mines? What's happened once the gold had been mined? How did the gold fit into the cycle of colonial trade from West Africa at the time? How did the gold get to the Royal Mint in England? What else did these companies trade in or transport? Who benefited from mining of the gold and its transformation into coinage? And how did this coin become part of the Hunterians' numismatic collection? Who collected it? Who donated it? How did they acquire the coin? So, as you can tell, many perspectives and a lot to explore and discuss. So as previously mentioned, the production of guineas began in 1663, the same year that this coin was struck, and also the same year that King Charles II granted the charter to the Company of Royal Adventurers of England, trading into Africa, to trade and enslave people. The company was governed by the king's brother, the Duke of York, later James II of England and 7th of Scotland. The same companies that transported gold to be made into guineas also transported over 200,000 forcibly enslaved Africans to be sold into chattel slavery, a racialized, brutal system of exploitation in which people were treated as subhuman property, and they and those born into it had no legal rights whatsoever. Tens of thousands died aboard company ships due to appalling conditions, disease, violence, and horrifying maltreatment. Now, Charles II, his brother James, and future English and British monarchs had no qualms about this, and neither did plenty of other monarchs from other European countries that participated in the transatlantic slave trade. They welcomed the enormous profits. And for much more on the guinea, Nelson and I recorded an episode for the Curating Discomfort podcast, part of a series discussing objects that were chosen for the intervention. And back in 2022, Curating Discomfort won the Museum Association's Reimagining the Museum Award. And since then, institutions, organizations, and individuals from around the world have contacted us to find out more. The next step for the Hunterian is called Power in This Place, which builds on Curating Discomfort and promotes co-production and equality. Again, there's much more about this on the Hunterian website, but I'll just give you a brief quote. The ambition of Power in This Place is to collaborate with the expertise of our multi-ethnic society and deliver public engagement that will advance our understanding of the shared history and impact of colonialism and migration on the present day. So alongside academic colleagues and other institutions, we'll be working with local organisations in Glasgow, such as Mary Hill Integration Network, Glasgow Women's Library, and Woodlands Community Development Trust to achieve these goals. Also, we've been lucky enough that the Hunterian has recruited a Power in Our Communities change coordinator to help develop relationships and collaborative projects. And numismatics will once again be at the forefront. Indeed, we've already held sessions with the community curators around objects relating to the theme of legacies of empire, but that's another paper for another time. And these kinds of close collaborations with organizations and individuals promote so many positive benefits, such as knowledge exchange, the very perspectives and insights, different ways of thinking of and approaching museum items, very lively and thought-provoking discussions, and also working on the Curating Discomfort intervention inspired a more emotional investment. It wasn't just another display. It felt like we were actually making a difference. And the broadened outreach to communities introduces numismatics to a wider audience, and as a result encourages increased awareness of and engagement with not only numismatics itself, but also the Hunterian's collection. So on a personal level, I've learned a lot, I've been challenged a lot, continue to be, and been discomforted a lot. But the process has been and continues to be rewarding. I'm looking forward to seeing how Curating Discomfort and Power in This Place influence the Hunterian's future plans and how they will act as positive and constructive sources of genuine change. Discomfort, I've found, is a good thing. So as I mentioned earlier, please do feel free to get in touch. And if you ever find yourselves in Glasgow, do drop me a line. Tack så mycket. Thank you very much.
Hello, hi, very good afternoon to everyone. Thank you to the organizer for having us today in this beautiful museum. And thank you, Blaise, for the introduction. Well, okay, my name is Fakrul. I am from the Central Bank of Malaysia, or also known as Bank Negara Malaysia. So today, I'm excited to present on the power of collaboration efforts in strengthening museum engagement. So here are the brief overview of what I'll be covering today. So the museum itself, a bit of the history, and then partnership and with other agencies, and also last, if I have time, so we'll cover key measurement. Okay, so We are actually a young museum. We are opened in 1989 and located in our own headquarters in Bank Negara, Malaysia. But then in 2011, we was rebranded into a new building, marking a significant transition from, as you can see there, from a traditional static exhibit to here to more interactives, technology enhanced experience. This shifts was definitely driven by desire to better engage visitors and provide them with more immersive learning and experience. So just a little bit of information about our museum. We serve as an informal learning center dedicated to enhance the public understanding of central banking and economy, as well as promoting deeper appreciation of numismatics and Malaysia's rich art heritage. So the museum houses 6 galleries, 2 temporary exhibition spaces, and then, yeah, as you can see there, there's the building. So for those who have been there last year, the outer facade is actually inspired by our national fabric, the songket, and the building itself inspired by the cowrie shell, one of the earliest currency used in our peninsula, and also there's the beautiful Nautilus staircase that inside the museum that actually represent curiosity. So through our open design and innovative features, we aim to reflect values like transparency, openness, and growth. So back in 2011, so we can still consider it as a static museum because most of the information is being shared on the wall panel and the graphic stickers. So this is what we look today. Thanks to this collaboration and partnership with the community, with advisory panel, artists, government and institution, and also museum industry. This will be covered later. So from static museum, we can call ourselves as a dynamic museum now. These are the key considerations for partnership. Shared objective, missions and target audience. This is crucial because each partner, we have to find each partner that brings something unique to the table. And then mutual benefit where both parties gain value from the collaboration. And of course, shared objective and common target audience help aligns the effort. And then support by the logistical and financial planning to ensure this partnership are sustainable and effective. Okay, this is one of the many initiatives that we have. This is basically collaboration with the Ministry of Education. It's a leadership workshop with the students, so we take the opportunity to join and then give some awareness on financial literacy and also currency education programs. So 5 schools attended during this program and 450 participants. And based on the survey and feedbacks, we reached 90% literacy rate. 98%, sorry. Okay, and then when we have built a strong foundation of the museum, so now we are looking on where to promote it. This is one of the way to promoting it. So we collaborate with Ministry of Education, where we want to include or instill our the information about currency education in the textbook, in the syllabus. So basically, children's like 12 years old and below can learn basic money concept. And on top of that, we put some promotions so that the teacher will plan the visit to our museum. So this is quite an achievement to us. 3 textbooks, and then reaching to 7,500 public and primary school, and then this is the numbers now: 376,000 primary school students yearly. Okay, as rightly mentioned by Cecilia earlier today, so financial literacy is quite important now in every country, and then the literacy rate is quite low. So the challenge is financial literacy itself sounds intimidating to some people. So the management always challenges us to make it more fun, so that it will give some impact to the people. Okay. So yeah, the challenge is imagine ways to deliver a content like nearly half of Malaysians struggle to have to save 1,000 ringgit for emergency. So that is quite stressful and depressed for some people. So this is how we make it fun to the children and also to the visitors. So we managed to secure 11,000 visitors for 3 financial literacy program throughout the years, and we got like 98% literacy rate based on the feedback and surveys. This is newly initiated by us, which is collaboration with the university. So we started with like a small program like talks, and then sharings, storytellings. Talks about the history of banknotes and also its relation to their culture, and also the storytelling power, the power of storytelling. So from this collaboration, now we have moved towards more collaboration with them in terms of research about numismatic collection that we have. So this particular event, we managed to obtain 500 participants in 3 sessions. Okay, and every year we have International Museum Day celebration hosted by the Department of Museum Malaysia. So the hosts and states will be in different states every year, and even the theme is also different. So the challenge here is for us to support the theme. So like this is on 2023, the theme is well-being. So we translate well-being into a financial fit gym. So there's a lot of interactive there. So when they do gym activity, so there's a content, there's an interactivity that leads to financial literacy content. Yeah. So during 2023, 34 museums and galleries participated, and we managed to get 10,000 visitors for 1 week program, and then we won the most popular and creative exhibition during this time. And then what the most important thing during this time is the next year, in this year, we inspired a few other museums to also build interactive, like think outside the box, and then deliver their message through creativity like this. So this year. We changed it. The concept is a School of Magical Finance. So it's a bit Harry Potter there. So that is our staff explaining about OPR, overnight policy rate, by using a potion mixing activity. So each portion actually represent things that you consider during OPR. So it's a good activity for children to understand the basic concept of OPR. And then for this year, we won again a special jury award for a unique exhibition booth. And then yes, last year we hosted ICOMON. We've been dreaming about this since 2017 when we attended ICOMON in Jakarta. We have 90 participants during the exhibition. So you can see familiar faces there. We have, sorry, maybe that's wrong, 7,500 paper presentation. That's not the, so I'll get back to that. So positive feedback from the participant, like you mentioned, Okay, and this is advisory panel when we have new exhibitions and things that to value and grading. So we involve Malaysian Numismatic Society. Yes.
You have to conclude.
Okay, fine. Okay, this is also an interesting traveling exhibition. We collaborate with local artists, cartoonists. This is Datuk Lat, one of the iconic cartoonists in Malaysia. So the target audience is not, he is famous during the 90s and 80s, So the target audience is not the children's, but the parents back then who can reminisce whatever he put in the comics about financial literacy and saving, so that the parents will tell the story to their children about financial literacy. So we traveled 7 galleries since 2011. We got like 180K visitors and 98% literacy rate. Okay, let's just. Okay. Sorry, how do I go back? Okay, so this is how we measure. Actually, we've been talking a lot about the literacy rate and whatnot. So this is our strategic outcome: far-reaching financial education, numismatic and art, professionalism and expertise in our own staff, and enhance public confidence. So for the first one, we measured literacy rate, client satisfaction, and inclusive citizenship. And then to enhance public confidence, we refer to things that been reported in social media and also media mentioned. And last but not least, wait, okay, this is what I'm excited to inform that we have collaboration with ASEAN countries, which we're going to have a co-curation exhibition on ASEAN, because next year Malaysia will be hosting ASEAN Championship, and also this is the latest one, Currency Juniors Club, where we wanted to have Currency Juniors Club at every school in Malaysia. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon to you all. Today I'm delighted to give you a brief insight into the world of the Dutch National Numismatic Collection and numismatic knowledge in the Netherlands. Our very short journey begins in the early 19th century when Caspar Reuvens, the world's first archaeology professor, began to teach numismatics at Leiden University. And his student on the right is Pieter Otto van der Scheijs. He succeeded him, and like Reuvens, van der Scheijs advocated the use of coins as a valuable source of information in archaeological studies. And he used the collection of the coin cabinet of the university for educational purposes, so that professors and their students could study with the coins at hand. Because time is short, I will jump forward in time to the second half of the 20th century, which is sometimes referred to as the golden age of Dutch numismatics. And besides Leiden, numismatics had become part of the curriculum at other universities, and this produced a new generation of numismatists and scholars who included numismatics in their research. And this trend continues to this day. The coin cabinet of the University of Leiden had by now merged with the Royal Coin Cabinet that became the most important center for numismatic research in the Netherlands. And several of its staff played an important role in promoting and teaching numismatics to students in the 1960s to the 1990s. And the staff of the coin cabinet carried out scientific research, taught numismatic courses at the University of Leiden, and these courses were organized as workshops in the coin cabinet so that the students could see and handle the coins being discussed and actively contribute to the current debates about them. Learning with the collection in hand, so to say, is still very important. We teach still an annual course in numismatics and monetary history at the University of Leiden, and the staff of our collection is also teaching classes at other universities each year. Very important also are the visits of students from different universities to the National Numismatic Collection to see, handle and learn about classical and medieval coins. And these sessions are always a great success because as a student you do not often get the chance to handle historical objects. And you need to be able to hold the coin in your hand and look at it from different angles to study it to your complete satisfaction. We also offer students internships and the students come from a wide range of disciplines. And over the years, a dozen trainees have worked on our ancient coins, and as a result, we now have an up-to-date descriptions of 20,000 Greek coins, and we have put the data online together with their photographs. And other trainees also worked on Roman coins and on the collection of historical foreign, this is the non-Dutch banknotes. And all this hard work enabled us to put our ancient coin data online and to contribute to various international databases. And this is, well, I think the third time today a similar slide has been shown. We also encourage our interns and other students to undertake numismatic research and publish the results. And this has resulted in publications for both the general public and the academic community. And we help the students with access to the collection and the library and with advice and proofreading. We also participate in a numismatic course organized every 2 years in Rome by a team of numismatists from various Dutch universities in cooperation with the Royal Netherlands Institute and the German Archaeological Institute in Rome. And the aim is to introduce Dutch and German students to the study of numismatics. And after 2 editions in Rome, an alternating course in Athens, with a focus on Greek coinage, of course, was started in 2018 by François de Calatai in Brussels and Panos Joseph, who teaches numismatics in Nijmegen. Basically, in fact, the students are given a 10-day or a 14-day crash course in numismatics around a theme. And the next edition in Rome starts later this year in November. And this year's 10-day course in Rome is on coins and medals and religion. And it includes seminars with introduction to numismatic studies and lectures on coinage, hands-on workshops on numismatic methods and coin identification exercises, guest lectures, museum visits. And this year the students will also be organizing an exhibition of coins and medals from the collection of the Biblioteca Casa Natense in Rome. As a collection, they start first describing the coins, and afterwards they're making an exhibition with these coins and medals in the Biblioteca Casa Natense. Recently, an important step has been taken for the further development of Greek studies in the Netherlands, as a committee of professional and amateur experts has been formed to publish the entire collection of some 20,000 Greek coins. And this will be published over the next few years in 8 volumes of the Siloge Nemorum Graecorum. And this program is partly financed by the Dutch Central Bank. Part of the work on the Ptolemaic coins will be carried out by students at Leiden University under the supervision of Lisbeth Klaas. The Nederlandse Bank, the Dutch Central Bank, also funds a scholarship. It's called the Van Gelder Grant, after the famous Dutch scholar Van Gelder, who aims to provide, the grant aims to promote interdisciplinary research and study of money and monetary history in the Netherlands. The Van Gelder Grant has a maximum of 10,000 euros and can be used for research or educational purposes, such as the creation of a digital exhibition or physical exhibition, or educational videos that can be put online. The grant is conditional on activities relating to money and the history of money in the Netherlands or the Dutch National Numismatic Collection. At the moment, we at the Dutch National Numismatic Collection are in a bit of a state of limbo because the renovation of our office building, which started in 2020, is still in progress. And this has made it necessary for us to move to a temporary location outside of Amsterdam. But we'll be moving back to Amsterdam during the first half of next year. And this will mean a fresh new start for us with many new opportunities to engage with the general public, but also with students and scholars. Our new headquarters will require less security because we've moved the gold and the banknotes, which were stored in the old building, to allow us to relax security and open our doors to everyone. We will continue to organize activities for the general public and more specialized groups such as collectors and students and scholars, and we will organize lectures and workshops and small temporary, perhaps traveling exhibitions. And we will continue to sponsor and promote interdisciplinary numismatic activities, and we will also continue, for example, the Van Gelder grant. We will also try to continue to cooperate with museums and the archaeological field, and we will continue to teach courses at universities and offer internships, which are so important. We are investing in this in order to promote numismatic knowledge among students, who will hopefully become scholars, numismatists, or at least scholars interested in coins and monetary history, who will use coins as a source in their work and thus help to safeguard the interest in numismatics and numismatic collections. Thank you very much.
In what ways can the Dutch Central Bank utilize the National Numismatic Collection for financial education? This question arises now that our numismatic collection is part of the Central Bank's new treasury. And this is the public space that Paul just referred to. This brand new public space and knowledge center will open its doors next year in our renovated headquarters in Amsterdam. Our numismatic collection and the bank's educational programming are all housed in this new treasury. With this public function, the central bank focuses more than ever on one specific core mission: financial education. For our numismatic collection, this is an excellent opportunity to bring back the history of money into the educational program for primary and secondary schools. I deliberately say back into the educational programming because until 10 years ago, the history of money did play a role in financial education. In the next 9 minutes, I will walk you through this period and ask the questions: why was there previously attention for numismatics? What did this look like? And importantly, what can we nowadays learn from previous practices? So, between 2007 and 2013, the Money Museum in Utrecht played an important role in financial education. This national numismatic collection of 400,000 objects was funded by the Dutch government and the Nederlandse Bank. Because the government was largely the owner of this collection and also the sponsor, it had influence on the mission strategy. The Money Museum was to be a numismatic research center, but most of all, a knowledge institute for financial education. The Money Museum developed educational programs and exhibitions which annually attracted 20,000 visitors under the age of 18. That's a little bit less than the 370,000 I just heard in Kuala Lumpur. Utilizing the numismatic collection, the museum introduced young people to financial insights, economic developments, and social issues surrounding money. And fundamental questions were asked and answered. So first, what is money? Second, why do we trust money? Third, how is money made? And four, what do people do with money? The strength of this formula was that numismatic objects were used to address financial challenges for young people. But another powerful aspect in this educational success can be credited to cooperation with partner organizations. This cooperation was anchored and strengthened by the opening of the collaborative platform for financial education called MoneyWise. MoneyWise was founded by the government in 2008, so approximately at the same time as the Money Museum, and it was founded as the result of a research that demonstrated that a significant decrease in financial literacy and financial knowledge among Dutch people. To counter this, MoneyWise was to coordinate educational planning and connect private and public parties together to organize programs, lessons, and yearly events such as the National Money Week. Today, the platform is still alive and kicking. This success is mainly because of constant government support, but it also helps that our Queen Maxima is the honorary chair and the public face of this organization. So every year she is involved in opening the annual Money Week. The fate of the Numismatic Money Museum unfortunately demonstrates the importance of constant government support. When this support stopped, the museum closed its doors. And for the past 10 years, the National Numismatic Collection has not been accessible for primary and secondary school education, but only for higher education, as my colleague Paul just mentioned. But fortunately, now in 2025, there is an opportunity for change, which brings us back to my opening question. In what ways can the Nederlandse Bank, the Dutch Central Bank, utilize the numismatic collection for financial education? And to answer this question, I want to take a look at the lessons that we can learn from the Money Museum and from the Money Museum's educational program. So first of all, the thing we have to learn is to prioritize the mission. Today, currently at DNB, our core task is to be a numismatic knowledge institute. Education is important, but it's not our main goal. This was different at the Money Museum, where a combination of two main goals proved dangerous, especially with a limited budget and uncertain political support. Second, we must realize that numismatics in financial education works best in collaboration with other disciplines, such as world orientation, economics, history, mathematics, or social studies. By collaborating with other parties, collections can develop more diverse programs and reach more broad audiences. And lastly, the lesson that we learn is to ensure that the lessons that we teach focus on specific challenges for young people. And the Money Museum was able to identify and address these challenges. These challenges for young people are fluid and they change depending on space and time. Therefore, I would like to go into further detail about the challenges that Dutch young people face today. So first of all, there is a decline in cash payments among young people in the Netherlands, which leads to less pain of paying and thus an increased risk of overspending. Pain when paying is an emotion that is associated with cash. When you pay with coins or banknotes, you feel your wallet getting lighter and you feel the pain of your money disappearing. And this triggers a feeling of loss. This is a positive emotion which stimulates a healthy financial management. Research shows that young people under 20 experience less pain of paying than any other group. As long as there is no comparable pain with digital payments, this group of young people remains vulnerable. Second, the phenomenon of finfluencers, which are influencers who on social media give risky financial advice. Finfluencers in the Netherlands reach 98% of young people between 16 and 18 years old. And 2/3 of these kids admit that they influence their financial choices. Dangerous advice on investments, gambling, in-game purchases, and promises of quick profits lead to unrealistic financial perspectives and cause financial problems for 30% of these young people. Thirdly, alternative payment methods such as crypto and afterpay lead to uncertain financial situations among young people. Unsecured payment methods such as crypto are popular among young people. 14% of secondary vocational education students are involved in crypto. And in case of adversity, the loss of unsecured, unbacked crypto can lead to financial setbacks. The same applies for afterpay, which is used by 40% of these students. Young people risk getting into debt by spending money that they do not have. We want to address these new challenges at DNB with our educational program, and our numismatic collection welcomes the challenge and opportunity to contribute. We aim to trigger students to reflect on fundamental questions that were also relevant in the time of the Money Museum, but we expand on these questions by connecting these questions to the history of money and tailor them to the challenges students face today. So we start off by asking the first question, what is money? And with that question, we trigger students to think about design, feel, and shape of money. So we ask the question, can students actually feel the difference between physical cash money, digital bank money, crypto, or afterpay? And with our exhibition, guides, physical lessons, and digital lessons, we explain how people have used different forms of money in the past. Secondly, by asking the question, why do we trust money? We invite students to consider how trust in money is different for everyone. Older groups in the Netherlands tend to value cash, while young groups put more faith in their bank account. What role does trust play when paying with euros or with cryptos? When and why did people in the past trust money? And more interestingly, I think, when did they not? Thirdly, we ask the question, how is money made? We push students to contemplate the origins of money, as well as the pros and cons of different payment methods. So during COVID in 2022, only 15% of Dutch payments was done with cash. So we invite the students to think about cash. Can viruses actually be transferred via cash? How do they actually make cash money? How do they make bank money? And in extension, how do they make crypto? What is the origin of crypto? Finally, we ask the question, what do people do with money? And by asking this question, we invite the students to interact with money. Because the relation between humans and money as a physical or digital object can be very diverse. Money can lead to happiness and unhappiness, financial profit and financial loss. Is negative influence on money attitudes a new development? How did people in the past impact other people's financial choices? Of course, in 10 years' time, the challenges that students face will no doubt be different again, and we will need to constantly adapt to new challenges and keep it into account. But there are essential questions that will remain fundamentally important as long as people interact with the concept of money. And the strength of our numismatic collection is that the objects together form a physical reflection of the history of money, but also of social, economic, and political history. The richness of the collection offers parallels that stimulate young people to reflect on the risks and challenges of money in the present. Our numismatic collection of the new treasury at the Dutch Central Bank welcome this new challenge and opportunity. Thank you very much for your attention.